There she is.
Hi!
Hi, Pili. How are you?
Hola, Marco. Good, and you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Happy Wednesday to you. I had to think about what day it is.
I
Okay.
know, that's what, like, everybody seems to be having the same issue. It's like, wait, what day is today? But the funny thing is, like, I feel like every day is going by faster and faster.
It's true. It's true. It depends. It depends on the day, but you're right. All of a sudden, I'm like, is it already 2 o'clock? And I'll be honest with you. I've talked about it before. Like, we're doing homeschooling in the morning, and I look forward to my 5 p.m. drink. I have to
Oh,
say.
me too. Me too, 100%. I'm like, at least having one drink every day, which I don't know if it's healthy or not, but it feels good. So whatever.
Why not? Why not? And you know what? I've said before, I love beer. Beer's great, but you can't drink beer every single day. So one day I looked in the fridge and we had a White Claw in there, right? White Claw. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, great. I tried it. I liked it. It was easy to drink. And now it's a staple, just like milk.
Okay,
White
hold
Claw.
on 1 minute. I'm going to go get my White Claw. You want to get yours?
Yeah,
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's do it.
let's do it.
Okay,
Can
be
you hold
right
on?
back.
Okay,
Yes.
hold on. Hold on, everybody. We're going to White Claw it. Hold on.
We gotta exchange flavors. Well, like,
Wait, you are going to get me in trouble.
oh, I always get people in trouble. I get myself in trouble all the time.
This
Let's
one
see,
is
what did you get?
Well, this one's lime. I prefer mango. I prefer watermelon, and they're outside. So
Black cherries,
ah,
my favorite.
okay, fine. I'll go with lime. Wow, this is the first. I don't think. Hey, cheers.
Salud.
I don't think I've been drinking on IG Live, but hey,
Why not?
we're at home. We're not going anywhere.
Exactly. Lime is my least favorite
Wait,
flavor.
that's my least favorite, and the reason why is because I actually pulled all the limes and the lemons aside because I was going to give them to like my sisters, and all my good ones are outside in our fridge in the garage.
Well, I have a good advice for you.
Tell me.
Do you like mezcal or tequila?
All of the above.
Okay, mix them with the lime one. That's what I do.
Oh, and I have that over there. Well, no, we don't want to get too crazy.
No, no, no. I don't mean now, but I mean like for next time.
Yeah.
Just like, you can use the lime ones. Just
Okay.
mix them up with tequila or mezcal. Yes, delicioso.
Okay, doing it.
You know, like all of these brands should be sponsoring you, Marco.
Oh, you're funny. I think we should put that out there, right? But I'm loving that. We're just starting the day. What time is it? Well, 2 o'clock here. Oh, well, why not?
Salud.
Cheers to you. So it is so great to see you. Let me put this down for a second. So it's interesting because we were connected through a mutual friend, Nino, who we adore, and I know he's watching. So hi, Nino.
To Nino.
Yeah. Isn't he just the best? And the interesting thing with you is you and the music industry. It's like hand in hand. Let's talk about, the current state of music with the quarantine. Where do you see it going?
So it's interesting because just yesterday, I have a music podcast called
Yeah.
Pili, Raul and La Musica. And
Yes.
just yesterday, we did an IG live because every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, we do an IG live with Pili, Raul and La Musica. And we were precisely talking about that, the state of music now.
Yeah.
And it's definitely changing. And we got to embrace the change because it's here and there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
I think there's going to be a lot of drive-in concerts. That's something that Europe is adapting. Germany and Denmark are doing that. So think about drive-in theater.
Okay.
But instead of watching a movie, you're watching a concert. Only 2 people per car, and you're in your car dancing, listening, and watching live music. Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
So that's one of the things that's happening for sure. We're going to see a lot of live streaming from bands, which is what we're seeing right now.
Right.
But something that I encourage a lot for artists to do is to start charging, even if it's just donation based, because as you probably enjoy music, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely. It's my number one.
There you go. And most of us do. We recognize that it's an art craft, and it's something that brings us so much joy, so much happiness, and it has a value to it. So
Yeah.
I get it, maybe big names like Juanes or Lady Gaga or Shakira, they can do their live streams for free. But all those up and coming bands, I highly, highly encourage them to start charging. And even just like if it's donation based, because they got to make a living somehow. It's really hard. And, I do a lot of live hosting, and I had so many cool events that I was going to be hosting during the summer, because as you know, summertime is where all these outdoor events take place, and all of that has been canceled. And I just got news that LA will be closed probably like venues will be closed probably until September or October. And I'm like,
Now what?
killer.
Yeah. I mean, you know, aside from people making a living, but just the enjoyment of it. I mean, you host like nobody else. I mean, you like are on that stage and you command the presence and you love doing that. And that takes the joy away from you. So, you know, that goes for everybody, you know?
It's really hard, but I try to concentrate on what's next, and I try to concentrate on what's happening right now, which is a
Yes.
lot of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I start thinking about everything that has been canceled and everything that I was looking forward to, I would be depressed.
I know. And overwhelmed. Totally.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we got to roll with the punches, you know. Hay que seguirle.
Exactly. And you know what I love about Pili is that you speak your mind. You're not afraid to just get out there and just, you know, speak your mind. I've obviously been watching you for a long time, and just your recent, you know, IG lives. I love that you speak your mind and your truth, and that you're comfortable with that. And I think that is something that so many people who look up to you can appreciate.
Thank you so much. You know, I try to be as authentic and organic as possible and really speak my truth,
Yeah.
because I think it's the only way for people to relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, like, I'm always watching people, you know, it's part of my job is to like observe and study. And
Yeah.
I know who's being authentic and who's not. And as soon as someone's not being authentic, you just like check out. So
Totally.
I really try to speak from my heart, and I try to speak as truthful as possible. You know, even yesterday I did an Instagram live on how motherhood doesn't define you as a woman.
I
Because
watched it.
Mother's Day, I was seeing like all these comments about, oh, the greatest gift about being a woman is being a mother. And I started thinking, well, what about people like myself who have chosen not to have kids, or
Exactly.
people like women who biologically can't have kids? Like, what subliminal message are you sending out there? And I spoke my mind, and it resonated with a lot of people, and people loved it. And I got like huge, like paragraphs of comments, you know. So it pays off to be authentic and to be yourself.
And I love that you're so multi-talented, obviously hosting and producing, but you also had your hand in acting. And I'm sure a lot of people know that. You have so many followers that adore you. So let's talk a little bit about that and how acting is in your past and
For
maybe in your
sure.
future.
Yeah. Actually, today I got from my agent, I got a possible commercial. But
Nice.
so I studied theater. I went to Boston College and I majored in theater. No minor, just straight like
Just
theater.
boom.
Very passionate about theater, love theater, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
And I learned that the hard way when I moved to New York after college, and I was a waitress, and I paid my dues, and I was literally very poor. And I love acting, but when I started hosting, it was love at first. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Hosting is really my biggest passion. It comes easier for me. I think the key about hosting is being yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. And
Yes.
it's thank God that I've gotten to that point in my life. I mean, if you see tapes of me when I started with MTV. So I was a DJ for MTV as a
Wow.
host.
Isn't
And
that incredible?
you see
Oh my.
tapes, oh my God, you see tapes of me like interviewing Ricky Martin and like Daddy Yankee, and like, you know, I was scared. Like, I didn't really know
There's,
what I was doing. Right. But obviously, with experience and with time, you really get comfortable in your own skin. You
yes.
learn how to do really good research, which is key. It's pivotal when it comes to hosting. And
Mm-hmm.
I just fell in love with hosting. And I love acting, and I respect actors immensely. But definitely, hosting is my calling.
And it's interesting too, because you said about research. A lot of people just think, oh, hosts just get up and they look pretty and they no, you have to be educated about who you're interviewing. I remember back in the day, I used to work for Access Hollywood and I worked there for 4 years. Same thing. When you interview people on the red carpet, whether it was Ricky, I think I interviewed Ricky at the Alma Awards back in 2000. And, you know, same thing. Like I remember looking at videotapes back then, deer in headlights, right? And then over the years, you just realize that these are people too. They just have maybe more money or maybe they have a bigger limelight, but they're just people and they want you to talk to them like they're people.
Definitely. I mean, they, yeah, they, they, they have the same needs and wants as we do, and they have the
Yeah.
same fears. And I think if you relate to that and you tap into that vulnerability, then you really connect with whoever you're interviewing. But one thing that I really like laugh all the time is when they get an actor or an actress as a host, and I'm like, people, it's not the same thing. It's a totally different craft.
There's no script.
There's no script. When you're an actor, you're portraying someone else. When you're a host, you're yourself.
Yes.
And I really hope that networks and just people out there who are constantly hiring hosts, hire actual hosts and not actors. Let the actors be actors, let the hosts be hosts.
So in these times of quarantine, what do you think you've taken away from it? I mean, we're all kind of not in isolation. I don't like to use that word because we're connecting with people. I'm talking to you now and you talk to friends on the phone. So people aren't necessarily alone. But what do you think you, Pili, is taking away from this quarantine time?
Oh my God, I've learned so much. First of all, I am connecting way more now with my friends than I used to.
Yeah.
Because we're not as busy. There's not that much noise. Actually, we're very busy, but in a different way.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I've learned to value even more the power of social media. I've also learned that I'm actually more domesticated than I thought I was.
Okay.
I've never cooked, and now I'm cooking.
You're part of the story. Love it.
I'm like cleaning the house, and I'm like doing laundry and kind of enjoying it, which is something very new for me. So the other day I was talking to my friend and I'm like, I'm cooking, I've always made the bed, but you know, I'm cleaning and I'm enjoying it. Who would have ever thought that I've never really thought of myself as being very domestic.
Okay.
And it seems like I am. So that's something that I'm learning. But I'm also learning to like slow down. And now that we're all forced to slow down, I see the benefits of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel, right. And I feel like the energy is different. I feel like in terms of community and society, we're all so much more united. I think our values are better. Like we're switching values. We're valuing what's actually necessary. And that is the greatest gift that COVID-19 could ever give us.
It's funny because while we're waiting for more questions to come in, aside from my producing days at Access, I went into local news. I did that for, over 12 years, reporting and anchoring. And it's so interesting because everybody's like, why are you leaving Access Hollywood? Well, I wanted to try on camera. As you know, you have to start small. I went from LA, because I'm from here, to Yuma, Arizona, which I love that city, but it was small. And then you have to move every 2 years. So when I got married and had kids, I just couldn't do that anymore. So, you know, here I am in LA now, and I'm fine with it. But I really enjoyed that time doing local news. Did you ever think of doing local news?
No, my mom would have loved for me to do local news. She always saw me as an anchor, but I've never been in, like, I really don't like hard news.
Okay.
I am more definitely more inclined to do like entertainment and like the fun stuff. That's definitely where I shine the most.
Okay.
But to give you a little anecdote. So I started out as a host back in Puerto Rico for MTV Puerto Rico. And then I moved to, after a couple of years of being with them, I moved to LA with LA TV, which was bilingual.
I remember.
What?
I remember LATV.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. So I was with LATV. They're the ones who brought me to LA.
Okay.
And then after that, I actually got laid off from LATV because I was, quote unquote, too educated for our audience.
Hey, oh gosh.
I know.
Really? I need a drink for that one. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
I need to absorb that.
How dare you?
Okay, keep going.
So then after that, I became the entertainment reporter for Univision's Primer Impacto.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Right. And I hated it. It was horrible.
Why is that?
Because it was all about chisme. All they wanted was chisme. And I wasn't interested in that. Like, I'm not interested in chisme. I'm interested in getting to know who you are as a person. How can you inspire us? What's your story? How can I relate to you?
Yes.
Not el chisme. And they paid shit. They're like slave drivers. I mean, I remember one day I sat down and I actually calculated how much I was getting paid an hour for all the work that I was doing. And it was like $3.22. I was like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. What? Oh my
I know.
God.
And
But I
also
believe
like,
that. I totally believe that. I mean, I
oh
think I
yeah,
made like $12 when I was anchoring back in like Arizona, back in the day. So I know.
right. And I'm like, it's Univision. You have money.
Exactly.
Everybody knows you have money.
Exactly.
And also, Primer Impacto, personally, it's not a show that I like. It's not a show that I just wasn't proud of the work.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
get it.
I quit after a year. It was a good lesson for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would work for Univision, but just under more of my terms,
Yeah.
I
It's
would
a
say.
different capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I understand, like, sometimes, you know, you got to sacrifice, you got to do what you got to do to earn that experience, and sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's not. Just like
Yes.
I did soap operas and I hated doing soap operas, but now I know that I don't like doing soap operas.
So now check it off the list.
Out. Yep.
Next. Oh my gosh. So I love that you're doing your podcast though. Pili, Raul, and La Musica. I love the title. And so tell us about that, because I know a lot of your fans also follow you on the podcast.
Yeah. So it's a podcast that started about a year ago. We have 22 episodes. We have our 23rd episode airing tomorrow.
Wow.
So Raul Campos, he's a DJ in LA. He's known for his work at KCRW.
Oh yeah.
And him and I have been friends for a very long time. We're both very passionate about Latin alternative music. And we would always bump into each other at different conferences or concerts and be like, hey, ¿cómo estás? You know, so we had the same taste in music.
Yes.
And I would always tell him, Raul, you and I have to do something. You and I have to do something. So last year we bumped into each other at a music event. And I said, you and I are having lunch next week and we're going to talk about something. I have an idea for you. And I said, let's do the podcast. And he said, yes, let's do it. And what was so magical about it was that we contacted Jack Daniels, who's our major sponsor. Even before we launched one episode, we explained what the concept was, what our vision was, what our business plan was for the podcast. And they signed up right away too, which was awesome.
Yes.
So, yeah. So before COVID, we were doing once a month, we were doing a live event every month at a bar that Jack Daniels has in Silver Lake. And it was by invitation only. And it was such a magical night. We would have about 60 to 100 guests. And then we would interview the artist live, and then the audience.
Fun.
Oh my God, it was like magical. Open bar, they had food, it was everything free. And then we would interview the artist live, and then the audience would get a chance to ask questions. But so now we're doing that virtually.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know,
the next best thing.
You got to keep going, and there's a very good momentum that we have with the show. We've interviewed big bands. Like Ozomatli, Kinky, Monsieur Periné. We had Camilo Lara from Mexican Institute of Sound.
Yes.
Last week, we did the virtual with him. So it's been such a great experience. But for those of you out there who would ever want to do a podcast, it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. I mean, I just know, I mean, people think, again, plug in a mic. There's a lot of sound issues. Tell us about that. I mean, people are probably going, I could do a podcast. It's so easy. Let's hear the real truth.
Okay. Anybody can do a podcast. Whether it's good or bad, that's different.
Yes. That's true. It's so true. Yes.
I think the work has to do, obviously, with the production value. And I don't do anything where the production value is not top notch. Because my name is attached to it, and I'm a brand myself, and I got to protect that brand.
Totally.
But it's also about promoting it. It's about getting more sponsors, because it kind of becomes your full-time job, but it's not paying as a full-time job. So it's okay. What other brands can come on board? What other brands can support us? You know, can we partner up with? Yes. It's about getting more listeners. It's about doing a lot of research of what we said at the beginning of the interview. It's like, you got to do your research really well, because you're sitting down with an amazing artist, and you got to, you know, ask them good questions. Yeah,
to keep it going. Absolutely.
So a lot of study, a lot of promotion, you know, with social media, which I said, social media is amazing and social media is great, but it's a lot of work. Yes. So putting out press releases, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like it's the way things are going though. Podcasts are the future.
Do you listen to any podcasts?
You know what's funny? My friend Rosalind Sanchez, she and her husband Eric Winter, they have one called "He Said Ella Dicho."
Yep.
And I'm waiting to have her on this show here because I've known her for, gosh, I met Nino through Rosalind, so that's
Okay.
kind of funny. But I've known her forever. They are hilarious. They're very real. So that's one of the podcasts. As far as music ones, you know, I catch them here and there. So what are some of your other favorite ones?
So Alec Baldwin has a really cool podcast called Here's the Thing.
Okay.
And I really enjoy that podcast. That's probably, after my podcast, that's my favorite podcast.
After yours, exactly.
I love his voice, and also like he has really interesting guests, and his questions are good. You know, I just like the way that he does his podcast. So that's one of my favorite podcasts. It's called Here's the Thing. He's so good. I think we had a question.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody mentioned about.
I love that Bento Alejandro says gossip, and then he put like that emoji, like, ugh. See, that's what me impacto on it.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. Educate for your audience. What? Yeah, I know. I mean, that was how many years? That was a long time ago. I think that would not fly nowadays. I mean, I could have totally sued them for that. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what they said. They were like, you're too educated for our audience. But I'm always grateful for that comment, and I'll tell you why. Because that was a point in my life where I recognized the importance and the responsibility that I have as a content creator of whatever we put out there. And I recognize that a lot of these Latin stations and Latin networks know that they're very powerful, and they know that they can just push our community and our people down by feeding them bullshit, by feeding them not educated content.
Okay, makes sense.
So for me, I was like, okay, I get it. That means that if I want to do something, I have to do it at a whole nother level. And I want to do something that I'm proud of.
And that is so great that you did that. I mean, I could tell you're so passionate about it, and it comes through. I can just see it. I can feel it. And that's what it's all about, you know, but
Marco, like, in all sincerity, I really love what I do, and I want to do it more and more and more. And like, even now, after 2 months of being in quarantine, I'm like, I cannot wait to get out there and, you know, be super creative. And I have a really cool show that I can't say what it is yet, but you guys will all know what it is once it's out there. But we were supposed to start the show this month, and so it's all, and I'm like, I can't wait. Like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, you know.
It's on the tip of your. Can you give us? Does it involve music, or what is the overall genre?
So it's more of a radio show, but it will be filmed, and it's like Sirius FM. Let's put it that way, but it's not Sirius FM.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm getting the visual. Oh God, now I can't wait. Now I gotta know. I'm gonna have to text you later, and you'll have to tell me all the deal.
Yes, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
Between you and I, but basically, I'll be interviewing anyone that has to do with the entertainment industry. So it'll be an interview show. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have my PJ pants on. Thanks.
Hey, I love it. Oh, you know what? I actually put pants on.
PJ pants. Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah. See, look, I got jeans on. See, jeans, but flip flops.
Oh no, but because I saw your post, you're like, I really dress up for an interview, and I was like, oh, I like that idea. I'm just gonna wear PJs for Marco.
Darn. Usually, I'm wearing PJ pants, either Batman or superheroes. That's like my go-to gift now. Is I get PJ pants. So.
Oh well.
Today I had to take the trash out, and I had to do some errands, so I put on pants. Yeah, I know, boring.
No problem.
Before we go, I want to ask you, what was your very first album you ever got?
Actually, I got two, and they were cassettes.
Oh, I remember cassettes.
And it was Roxette.
Oh, It Must Have Been Love?
Yes!
I remember that one.
But it's over now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And John Segala.
Wait, what was the song, though? I can't remember.
Help us, people, help us. What was John Segara's big hit? It was a love song. Ah!
And I remember the cover of the cassette single. He was like looking off into like.
See?
Remember?
Very
very dramatic. I think mine was. Well, I had Glass Houses by Billy Joel from back then. I have the
Of course
Go-Go's.
you did, of course.
The Go-Go's. Devo was like big for me. And then isn't it interesting how as we grow, we transition, right? So I had my time in my 20s when I was really into punk music. So I loved like NoFX and Pennywise and the Vandals. And then from there, I transitioned to like hip hop. And then now I'm like Josh Groban and Billy Joel, Elton John. Like I like everything now. As you get older, your music changes, you know?
And I think being bicultural also expands your music library, which I think is awesome.
I love your look right now too. You're rocking that cap and that red lip. You are just killing it.
So I think okay, I love Gwen Stefani. So she's like my style guru.
Okay.
So I'm like adapting the red lips forever and ever. Thanks, Gwen Stefani.
Oh, there you go. I'll cheers to that. You know, Gwen, it's so funny about Gwen. She's from Orange County and that's where I grew up. So I remember going to see Gwen for like $10 at like the smallest venues in Orange County. Because I grew up in, well, it's near Anaheim. So her shows were always so inexpensive. She used to open up for like, you name it, Weezer. I mean, I saw her in Bush back then. So to see her now, she's just like I said, I hate to use the word iconic, but she is. She's like next level. She's like Madonna, right? You say
I love
Gwen,
her.
you know who it is. When you're a one name person, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's so funny. Like now that I've adopted this drinking a White Claw during interviews, I'm like, should this be like a normal? I feel like how could I not do this now? I talk about it all the time.
Okay, people, White Claw only has 5% alcohol. It has only 2 grams of carbs.
Right.
And only 100 calories.
Becomes a commercial. But I have to agree with you. Lime and lemon are not my two favorite. They're not. They're definitely my. I just grabbed it because this one was in the fridge here. But I'm telling you, all my good flavors outside.
But now you know. When you're gonna make your little tequila or mezcalito, you add the lime one.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
Pili, seriously, like we could just chat. I mean, this is why you're so successful. You're so fun to chat with.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not kidding.
I really, I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about what I do. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to do more. I can't wait to go out there in the world and get all these creative juices out there.
I'm telling you, conversations like this, Pili, make me so happy. I have enjoyed talking to you so much. I'm not kidding. Like we have to do this more regularly because you give me life.
I love that.
You do. I'm not kidding. You really do.
You let me know when and I'll be on. Like I love talking to people. Love getting to know people. I love interacting with the audience. So you let me know and we'll talk about it. And I'll let you know about my show too.
Yes, and I want to know it. I'm going to listen to your podcast. I can't believe it's already that episode. Cheers to you though. Look, we're clawing it. Boom. Boom. But this has been so much fun, and let's do it again. And stay safe, and let's talk again soon.
Thank you. I would love that. And for all of you who don't follow me yet, please do follow me at Pili Montilla and the podcast Pili, Raul and La Musica. It's on iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, Pandora, all over. It's super fun. It's bilingual, so some of them are in Spanish, some of them are in English, some of them are in Spanglish, but they're really fun. So check them out. Thank you for your time, Marco. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll be listening, and it's been so much fun. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Marco Gonzalez, and I'll see you next time right here on the couch. Take care.